Aloha, good morning. Welcome to Kahu's Corner. This early Monday morning, beginning of the work week. I usually, by now, you guys probably know what say every Monday morning, but it's true. I mean, it's Monday morning, beginning of the work week. Thank you for joining me, and hope you guys had a blessed and safe weekend. And and I hope you guys had a chance to be in person at Imiola Church yesterday, or even watch online and noticed that these past few weeks, I think we're on the third week now. Kahu has a series that's been ongoing, and we've been learning a lot. It's called The Fear of the Lord. Um, and really, the more and more I listen to it, how God has led him in this series, and he's been really just showing us in the Bible of just two types of people. Really, that's what I take away from it: is those who fear him, not scared of him, but give him reverence and honor, and understand that growing closer to him is really about following his commandments. Kao every now and then says he's not a demanding God, he's a commanding God. He gives us the outlines to grow in a relationship, to honor him by the way we live, what he wants for us to live a successful life according to his word, and not just the things of this world. But I found that the more and more, and it's been 3 weeks, so the more and more I read, there's two types of people: those that love God and those that don't. God doesn't see our backgrounds, where we come from, but He does want all people to follow His commandments. And that's God. He's the creator, and He gives us an outline of how to live. And the more we do that, the more we grow closer to Him by His Word and through prayer and being around other believers. It becomes easier, but it's a daily process, like I was saying, and like I've been saying, that it's when you open your eyes in the morning and you're fixing to walk out that door, you got to tell God to just be with you. It's a daily process, day by day, week by week, and we're going to fall down. There's going to be ups and down trials. And when we fall down, how do we handle it? Do we seek God? And even in the good times when we're successful, do we thank Him for it, or do we say, "Hey, I did everything on my own," and that's not good either. That's not healthy. It's so easy to get trapped in that frame of thinking. Financial status, what you have, worldly things. You can just tell yourself that, "Hey, I did it all on my own." And we tend to exclude God in everything we do, and He's gonna let us do it, but there's gonna be consequence. And once it comes our way, we can't blame God for it, because He's sovereign. He's the creator of the universe, and we have to meet Him to where He wants us to be. And like I said, it's a growing relationship. It takes discipline, and we got to start somewhere. And what greater series that God has laid on Kahu's heart is that's where everything starts, is fearing Him, not being scared of Him, but knowing that God is above everything, and anything in our lives we can't compare it to Him. We definitely can't put it above Him. Simple things, like I said, financial status. If we work so hard to accumulate money and we forget God about it, we putting something above God, and we gotta watch, because it definitely gets into everybody's lives. But this morning I wanted to just go back in the Old Testament and read about this one king that um, organized things in Judah to where he honored God. His father before him didn't do that. And if we look generations now, I'm just saying that some generations before, they don't honor God. So when you have the next generation, it doesn't carry down It's just like what he do for a living. I just love when I see kids riding horses. I never had a chance to do that when I was young, but when you see them, the parents invest in so much of their time into their kids, what they have learned from their parents, the generations, it just keeps following down, and it's nothing different from the Lord. If we know the Lord and we invest that in our kids, they have a shot. God expects that of us to do that to our kids and it's if you read about the Israelites when God brought them out of Egypt, it's exactly what he told them. The first generation of Hebrews that came out of Israel, he was trying to teach them that, hey, you get the younger generation coming up, your grandchildren, you guys get the gist of it. But I wanted to read about one king in Judah, and his name was Hezekiah. His dad, Ahaz, wasn't such a good king. He didn't have a really good relationship with God, and it says he did evil in the sight of the Lord. So when Hezekiah took over the kingship, he had to do something different. He had to change things around, which he did. And we'll just read a few verses about what he did, and we can apply to our lives. Where in our lives are things that we need to get rid of or put things in order, meaning God got to be at the top. Everything else that's good has to fall under God. And sorry to say, even our spouses and our children have to come below God, because God is where everything starts from. The way we supposed to lead our family, and again, I'm just going to say it's not an easy task, but we have to read God's word and see what he says about everything we doing in our lives. So King Hezekiah, it comes out of the book of 2 Kings chapter 18, and I'm going to start in verse 3. It says, he, talking about King Hezekiah, he did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, just as his ancestor David had done. Talking about King David, previous years before that. He removed the pagan shrines, smashed the sacred pillars, and cut down the Asherah poles. He broke up the bronze serpent that Moses had made, because the people of Israel had been offering sacrifices to it. The bronze serpent was called Nehushtan. Hezekiah trusted in the Lord, the God of Israel. There was no one like him among all the kings of Judah, either before him or after his time. He remained faithful to the Lord in everything, and he had carefully obeyed all the commands the Lord had given Moses. So the Lord was with him, and Hezekiah was successful in everything he did. He revolted against the king of Assyria and refused to pay him tribute. He also conquered the Philistines as far distant as Gaza and its territory, from their smallest outpost to their largest walled city. During the 4th year of Hezekiah's reign, which was the 7th year of King Hoshea reign in Israel, King Shalmaneser of Assyria attacked the city of Samaria and began a siege against it. I kind of went a little bit long, but you kind of get the gist about King Hezekiah. He took down everything that Judah was paying honor to or burning incense to. It was idols. Everything that was handmade, everything that was burning incense to. The only thing that was important to him was his relationship to God. It says that he carefully followed or carefully obeyed all the commandments that God had given Moses, which was previous. So he took out everything that was handmade, everything that was of the world, and he solely concentrated on his relationship with God. Um, he feared the Lord. He obeyed, carefully obeyed his commandments. It's nothing different than us. What are we idolizing in our lives? What are we putting above God? Um, like I said, it can be something good. It can be almost like Mary and Martha. It can be something that you going to church, you serving, you just going, giving of yourself, but you're not spending time with Jesus. You're not reading His Word. You're not, you know, sitting down and being quiet. And then next thing you're the story of Mary and Martha. Mary, as soon as Jesus came in to have a feast, Mary knew exactly where the most important thing was right at Jesus' feet and listening to Him. Whereas Martha, she did a good thing. She wanted to prepare a meal and make sure that everybody was fed, but she lost the main goal. And like I said, it might be good things in your lives that's going on, but where's the order at? And Hezekiah knew exactly what to do when he was in charge of Judah. He said, hey, we got to knock down all of these things, high places, idols, even the serpent that Moses had used leading the Israelites out of Egypt. That too got to get gone. It's all about a relationship with God. Follow His commandments, stay close to Him. And what did it say? What was the benefit, or what was the consequence? Consequence can be good too in what we do. It's not always. Sometimes we say, well, what's the consequence? It's something bad. Not really in this case. It says that he was successful in everything he did. That was a consequence of carefully obeying all the commandments the Lord had given Moses. Hezekiah knew it. And if he did it, he's a king of Judah, so did the people. He changed their way of thinking. He changed the way they lived. And just for that few 29 years, he had left one big imprint on Judah. But at the beginning, there wasn't anybody like him after him. So we can just tell that things went downhill. If you read it gets bad, but Hezekiah knew in his lifetime that he knew where everything had to be. He feared the Lord. So I have work to do. I'm sure you have work to do in our lives on keeping things in the right order, which is God needs to be at the top. And we have to align everything the way God has planned it in His Word. If we don't read His Word, we don't know what the order is, and people just go on living their lives. But God has got to be at the top of the waterfall. So I hope you guys have a good day, safe day, and a blessed week. Allah.